All right, Albie. It's the night before the day.
True.
I am very
One more
excited.
sleep.
Let me tell you about this, that I am very excited about tomorrow, and I actually think there's so much happening. There's like magic happening around the globe, really. Like Trudeau's leaving. Derek Stormer's going to be kicked out soon.
Keir Starmer. Yeah.
Malalia is hanging out in all the like crazy-haired conservatives who are making the world better. Anti-socialists are all in Washington, D.C. He's got all the oligarchs now. It's funny. Just 2 years ago, Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos were just big tech billionaires. Now they're oligarchs, now that they're hanging with Trump. He's got all those guys. The world is changing. I mean, you've got... today, he's fixed the TikTok thing. And he's not a president. Well, he is president now. He's fixed the TikTok thing. He's... the Israeli hostages are released today. If you watched, and you didn't watch, but I watched, listened... the weekend shows, there was hardly a guest that they could get on any weekend show that wasn't extremely
like effusive about Trump.
Oh, yep, about Trump, including like hostage families in Israel. So if Trump didn't tweet that, then they don't know. That's what did it. Him doing the TikTok thing right now.
Well, and all you have to do, and I was talking about this to the kids today when we were driving, and saying like all the acts that are going to be at the inauguration things with Trump. So there's Carrie Underwood, there's the Village People, there's Billy Ray Cyrus, Gavin DeGraw,
Nelly, Snoop Dogg,
Nelly, everybody.
Snoop Dogg said essentially like 5 years ago that he'd like shoot people who went Uncle Tom, but now he's all in. It's so interesting how it has gone from we've flipped the switch from heavy metal to alt rock in the 90s, like night and day. Right over there was a poster of Warrant a year ago, and now it's Nirvana.
Well, it's just funny because
now, by the way, in the 90s when it happened, like you would scoff at the idea that you would listen to a band called Warrant. I'm thinking like, what the band called Journey, with clean guitar playing and no feedback noises. Oh, but now that's what it's becoming here, with the exception of some people. Some people in the media just can't. They can't. They know they're going away. I mean, they know that they're all going away.
Right, but I've been looking through the comments. Just the Village People ones are incredible. Like if you search like Village People Trump inauguration on Facebook, and you look at the comments of like the boomer people who are like, I'm taking all the Village People out of my playlist. I thought you supported gay rights. This is a bridge too far. Like all this stuff. I guess the money that you were getting from Trump events was too much. As though they're like, the Village People are not rich because Trump plays YMCA at his rallies.
Doesn't hurt.
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't hurt, but you know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really not like make or break for them.
Right, although it is the official Trump dance soundtrack song.
I mean, sure. But also, I think it just is, like, it's fine to like Trump now. And they put out this statement that was like, we need to bring the country together. We don't want to be divisive, blah, blah, blah. But this era of like anyone who is within 100 yards of Trump is like poison, that's done.
Right.
That's
and remember,
the way it was in 2017 for his inauguration in 2017 is nobody could go anywhere near him, right? Like he wasn't just a normal Republican. People pulled out of it.
Yes.
People wouldn't participate.
They wouldn't dress Melania.
Right. So now we're in a new era, and the new era that we're in is that the Village People don't care what all the people on Facebook are complaining about to them, because they're like, this is the time for unity. We're bringing the country together. We're going to perform at the inauguration. This guy loves our frigging song.
Right.
His supporters love our frigging song. No one's being homophobic to us. Trump's putting gay people in the highest positions ever seen in the country. And they're not weird DEI hires like Karine Jean-Pierre and the suitcase stealing guy. They're like actual competent people like Scott Bessent. And like we're entering a new age of this being okay to say that Trump is fine.
Which is funny because we just entered the age where Trump was verboten. That was just 10 years ago. 11 years ago, you were allowed to like him, and he was allowed to be on SNL, and you were allowed to say his name, and people could dress Melania, and he could get news coverage. Which it's so this switched both ways. It was funny though. Like ABC now is so they know that the tide they've been overrun now with this stuff. Like they can't. Each of these shows, like this week, today it was Jonathan Carl on it. Their featured guest was Steve Bannon. Mm-hmm. It's like you're a half step from having Alex Jones be your featured guest.
And here's the crazy thing, too. So Trish in the chat says, welcome back, Trish. So glad to have you. Will they all finally admit that Melania is beautiful and Big Mike isn't? Which, I mean, I don't know if they're quite ready to say that Melania is beautiful and not an evil fascist whore.
I mean, the thing is, that was the biggest joke of the last time, is that, like, they've got this gorgeous, beautiful model, and we're pretending that, no, we're not.
Jill Biden's actually way hotter. Like, okay, guys. All right. But, like, when you wake up and the hangover is gone, like, who's actually more beautiful? Talk to me then. But.
And, by the way, my daughter and her friends know who Barron Trump is.
Yeah, they do know who he is. Yeah.
Yes.
And, by the way, speaking of all the Sunday shows being effusive about Trump and not being able to have on a guest that's not complimentary to Trump, what's bigger to our daughter, who does not watch any Sunday news shows but has been anxiously refreshing TikTok all weekend, is that the message on TikTok when it was down was, TikTok's not available right now, but we're optimistic that Donald Trump is going to help us get back online. And TikTok is now back online. So, and I saw liberals complaining, and my daughter was showing me people on Instagram talking about this, like liberals complaining that like TikTok is using the biggest billboard in the world right now to like say a pro-Trump message and blah, 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 all this stuff. They're angry that Biden took down TikTok and Trump didn't, and that this is, like, this could secure the youth vote for a generation. And, like, I mean, TikTok is spyware by the CCP, so I don't really care if it's down. And it's brain rot for our youth. Like, I freaking hate TikTok. But and I think it's related to the Barron Trump thing, because Trump did well on TikTok during the election, and Barron was helping him pick podcasts and stuff to go on during this election, really was an instrumental force in creating the Trump appeal to Gen Z / Gen Alpha, who, well, Gen Alpha can't vote yet, right? Because our daughter's kind of on the cusp between Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and she's like 14, so people younger than that is Gen Alpha, and people older than that is Gen Z. But I really think that like the Trump Gen Z appeal, and Gen Z is, yes, liberal, but is voting more conservative than previous generations at that age, that a big part of the appeal is his social media presence, and that he has a more open view towards TikTok. I hope that they cut back on the Chinese spying on the app. But I think that he has a more open view on a lot of this stuff than Biden does. I think that it's kind of fascinating that across the board, he's on the winning side of these issues.
Like,
he's winning on TikTok. He's winning on Israel-Palestine. Like, he's got the ceasefire. Biden didn't. And he's not even president yet. I can't wait to see what he does with Ukraine. Like, every issue that people have that's going wrong in the Biden administration, he's already fixing. And he's not even in office.
Well, you're absolutely right. I want to add something that, well, the Biden, and just how terrible the Biden administration has been. Remember, Joe Biden signed into law, Alice, the TikTok ban.
Right.
And then used TikTok for campaign work. His campaign used TikTok aggressively.
Yeah.
Like, what a piece of this guy is. But
Trish raises, doesn't the CCP already have a second spying app that's been rolled out? So this is the Chinese TikTok.
Redbird.
Right? Not bird, something else. Red something. Yeah. It's not Red Shift. That's the thing that's with Amazon Web Services. But I forgot. Red something. And so a bunch of people are on that. And do you have that chick that you like? Who's just discovered that China is not a third world country?
Oh goodness! Oh, we like her
You really love her.
because this
So
girl had
now
me.
the American people have raw, unfettered access to
This
unredacted Chinese propaganda.
this woman is made for me.
For my Chinese friend, I just want to tell you some discussions Americans are having right now. All of us agree and are astounded at how cheap and affordable your groceries, housing, and cars are.
All of us are. All of us are. Well, it reminds me of one time I was me and Michael Graham were getting castigated by our program director. Yeah, like 10 years ago. And she had a little assistant, little wormy guy who was like only like 23. And she's like, "Why are you guys doing this? Why are you talking about this? People want to see Obama do well. Why are you?" And we're just taking this beating from her or whatever. And he chimed in and said, "Yeah, and I got a little problem with like kind of like the subject matter you guys cover. You're always like talking about illegal immigration. Like me and my friends like never talk about that because he was 23 and holding a Starbucks coffee, and it's like we are precisely not broadcasting to you." But that reminds me of her. Like all of my friends, just want you to know,
We have a message for everybody in China. All of us are like freaking out right now.
you're gonna in a moment you're gonna hear why I'm in love with this lady.
I've been watching you guys' grocery
There you go. Oh man, I am in.
You guys is.
Oh, I am in.
are. I have been watching you guys' grocery haul videos, and it is blowing my mind. America could never. A lot of us also cannot believe how advanced your country is, because we were always shown and told that you guys were a third world, like starving country.
Were you ever told
That's
that China
just
was
not
a
the
third world
case.
country?
The fact
We told all the bad things about it. Wow. It's absolutely amazing. Hold on.
I was like told China was like a third world country, and I think I'm like amazed right now because I just found out that you guys' grocery haul videos are like crazy.
I would take that, Alice. I'm sorry. I am all about that.
What's better, that or Donna?
Well, Donna, we may have to talk about Donna a little bit. I love them both. But I'll take you guys as girl any day.
You guys,
Just tell you guys, because you know why I love that she says that is because you know that.
Trish says she listens to a Minnesota podcast and they don't say your, they say your guys's. Every time.
I love it because you know that this lady, you know that her room's nice and pink and clean. You know? Because she's everything's surface level.
I
Everything's.
think she has lip injections too, but I mean, like,
everything's
what are you gonna-
aesthetic. Like you guys, and you know she's very feminine. I like that. I'll be reaching out to her.
that 95% of you guys own homes is mind-boggling. It is like seriously almost impossible to own a home anywhere in the US. You have to work.
Stop. Is it almost impossible to own a home anywhere in the U.S.?
Yes, it's impossible. They're not selling them. Nothing's for sale.
I think there's a lot. I mean, I know buying a
They're
house
all
is
empty.
hard.
Arlington,
There's
Massachusetts.
like a lot of homes
Arlington,
in
Massachusetts.
the United
Every house
States
is empty.
that people own. There's like a lot. It's not. I mean, I understand that it's more expensive than it used to be. I agree that it's more expensive than it used to be, but I don't think it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people own homes.
Well, if we got one, then yeah, then if we got one, then you guys' opportunities.
You're really slacking if you.
Yes, absolutely. By the way, I love her. Her name is Kendall Kuiper. Of course, it's Kendall. Of course, it is. And what I love about her is that she has, you know, the in TikTok you can put up the transcript. What's it called?
Like the captions, closed captions.
Captions. She's got them in Chinese too, just so the Chinese will know that she's serious about this.
Immensely hard. How about y'all's law school is like $800 a year, and I think that your homeless rate is like 0.18%.
Wait, pause for a second, too. Is the cost of law school what's keeping Kendall out of law school right now?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Just wondering. I'm just curious.
Kendall's hair is absolutely combed.
It's beautiful.
It is.
I have people living outside of tents outside of my building. Like, it's terrible here. What? I saw somebody say earlier that a cancer medication.
Why does she think that the homelessness rate is low in China?
Because they're so awesome at running economies and stuff. And
does she not realize it's because they take the homeless people and send them away to
feed
camps?
them to pigs? No. Camps? There's no camps in China.
That they get is about $20 in China, and they are paying $22,000 a month in the U.S. for that same medication. What? A lot of you guys were also thinking that it's propaganda. That
it is funny because actually, what she's saying is no different than like that Jeff Daniels viral thing where he's did the HBO show Broadcast or whatever, where he's saying this country isn't so good. We're last in education. We're last in healthcare, whatever. This is how many on the left do look at this country when they compare with other countries.
Oh, yeah.
They're like,
but don't they know that actually like the reason, and I harp on this all the time when it comes to like European cost of college, because I happen to know people in Serbia where college is essentially free. Like you get paid a stipend to go to college that you can pay your rent and your living expenses and like going out to eat out of, right? But the problem is they only do that for people who score above a certain amount on an exam, and there's no like DEI points. There's nothing. Like if you don't score that on that exam, you don't go to the college.
So you guys as colleges have standards.
Right.
Requirements.
So like, yeah, you guys as colleges, and I mean, I assume China's the same way. I don't know as much about the Chinese system.
Well, many
intimately.
of them are paying in cash to go to college over here.
Well, right. But I like happen to know about the European system that like, yeah, the college is cheap or free, but the college is cheap or free for a very small subset of people.
Right.
Not for people who say you guys is.
Right. And also, like, if she wants to go to the same college where a lot of Chinese students are going, it's right down the street at UCLA. You can't get in.
Our kids, sometimes if they can afford it and their parents want to, we'll put them in a bulletproof like backpack to go to school. They also do stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance every single day before class starts. This whole experience might just be...
You know what? The thing is, I was reading today on. Oh, well, you'll hear it tomorrow. I've canned tomorrow's Burn Bill podcast video and podcast, and I went through some of our early messages together on Facebook.
Okay.
And
am I embarrassed? I'm the most cringe person alive. Like, well, I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody in advance, but my comments to Tom were like embarrassing. I'm embarrassed just thinking about it.
It's
so
funny
bad.
because at times, and we'll go through this, at times it was like, okay, I'm in a high stakes game of chess here. At times it was like, this is putty. Are you kidding me? You were like, I'm just so like, and you would like type like. You'd type, you know that it's not, you don't, but you'd be dumber for me on purpose there. You'd be like, I'm such like a just like super nerd. Sorry, this is embarrassing. And like, it was all like obviously.
I hate myself.
Oh
Stop.
please!
Oh
it was how you set the trap. Please, that was me in the Venus flytrap. Like she's pretty and says like she must be perfect, gum chewing and dumb and blonde, and this is gonna be great. Buckle in, husband number 2. But I thought about that. I thought like, wouldn't it be? It would be simpler. Like, I'm saying like now, but it would be simpler if I had married the Susan from Malden, who, as I told you, has held company with at least 20,000 Gen Xers in Malden. She was much like this one, except more Boston Streety. Like Johanna with the accent, which I love, of course.
Steve from Merrimack says the same people who say you guys is also saying so don't I.
Oh, yeah, well, I like so don't I is more of a student from Alden thing.
He says they're from Lynn.
Yes, Steve, there is a person, but had I married her, and I remember my mother when I was dating her. My mother got to know her, and my mother told me just in a sense that that she's not smart. She made
Trish says she doesn't mind, so don't I, but because her parents and grandparents said it, so she's like sentimental.
I'm for it. But it would be interesting marrying somebody like really dumb. Like, wouldn't it? Like, so you and I joke because Susan used to say he's tired about
But like, if
her
there
nephew.
was no irony about anything,
Yeah.
if it was just like, and so I do think it's interesting because a lot of like red pill guys on the internet claim to want to marry really dumb chicks.
Yeah, there's something.
Which, like, I mean, there's a whole thing where they're like, oh, don't, like, marry a chick who, like, is on Twitter, or don't marry a chick who whatever, right? That, like, you want a chick who's just, like, out of it and unspoiled by all the whatever of the world, right? And so I think there's something to that. But at the same time, like, I don't know what kind of companionship you get out of that.
Well, I think that the thought is
Like,
that
you
all
want
of the
somebody who
energy
gets the
goes
humor,
to.
right?
I think the thought is that all of the energy goes, instead of intellectual quests, all of her energy is going to looking good and being sexy and uninhibited. I think that's the thought. Is that's her? All her priorities are these things. But
is that girl who all her energy is going to that? Is she sleeping with the red pill guys from Twitter, or is she sleeping with somebody else that she met on Tinder?
The challenge is this: is that I think the challenge is this: is that after the romance part of the day or week or whatever is over, then as a guy, you lose total interest. But
I think the idea is then she's having your babies and like putting cute towels in your bathroom and like, you know, making nice dinner, and that who cares if you can't talk to her because she's doing all this other stuff that makes your life good.
Yeah.
Which, like, I feel like, man, I'm bad at all that stuff. So, like,
you're not bad at all. You're bad at some of the stuff. You're not bad at all of it.
So, full disclosure, if you marry Alice Shattuck, you're not getting a housewife in that sense who's, like,
money.
good at that shit. We're hiring people for some of these things. Like, I'm saying that. But...
yeah, now that you're out of the picture, there is literally no man in this house. Like, we now have to bring somebody in to do the rest of the kitchen and the bulkhead, etc. Now that you're
working a job.
Now that you're working a job. Now you're unavailable now to be a contractor. Should we finish with her, or should we move along? Okay, I'll finish with her. I do like her. I'm sorry, I do like her. Although I found this. We may even play it tomorrow at the party. Okay, let me tell you. If I saw you at the party. Tomorrow, we may do some interactive things, and we're going to have a couple microphones. We're not doing a show. It's a watch-along party. But
if I just showed up at the party.
If we feel it, and like we all feel it, whatever, we could do some trivia. Well, certainly there'll be some raffles. There's some raffles galore. You wouldn't believe.
We've got a lot of stuff, yeah.
Phil gone.
And
yep.
Julia brought stuff.
Yeah, they've gone crazy with this stuff. It's just, that's amazing. And Alice and I have some stuff that we'll raffle off too. But we may do some other interactive stuff, depending how the feel of the moment is. Because it might be that people are glued to TV. It might be that people just want to shoot the breeze and celebrate, get out of the snow or whatever. So we'll see. But there is this. If you don't remember the video of where Alice takes a fall and she's here that night to talk about it. Your hair was ridiculously. That's the best you ever looked. I mean, no, you've looked beautiful many times, but the time when you couldn't keep your composure because we were playing the audio of you crashing down through the studio, it was amazing because I saw you and you kept sweeping your fingers across your eyes, trying to make sure, like the Iron Dome, that no tear got through. And Drew, it was very funny just to watch it today. But your hair, this woman's hair is beautiful, and yours was like that day was beautiful too. You have really nice hair. It's true.
Thanks.
Who dyes your hair?
I don't dye my hair.
Are you saying it's naturally blonde?
It's naturally this, whatever this is.
How come you dip in and out of this woman's personality? When you talk about you're pretty, it's naturally this, whatever this is. I mean, if you guys' hair isn't as good, I'm sorry.
I don't say you guys is.
Yeah, you do in your own way.
I don't look like this chick. It's not me.
The most awake and united I think I've ever seen this country. We are pissed at our government, number one. Number two, astounded. Absolutely astounded.
She's astounded.
Kendall Kuiper. We are a fan of Kendall Kuiper. So, among the other things, and yeah, there's no doubt that a lot is happening right now. But another thing that's happening is that amazingly, while these incredible world global events are happening that Trump is making happen by force of presence, and the reason that it's happening with him is because he's the biggest living legend on the planet right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just shown remarkable.
He's going to make peace go in Ukraine, too.
I
I
agree.
feel confident.
Yep. And he's going to widen the Abraham Accords. He's going to do all sorts of stuff. So it's just like, it's an incredible moment. So what the left has done in the hapless Biden administration, and this is really sad, has done, if they've just started making stuff up. Well, they're letting out cop killers.
So that's one thing. So if you're into that.
Yeah. So all the wackos have them letting cop killers go, which is what they're doing left and right, and giving clemency to all sorts of corrupt, vile monsters. They're now also, he's now
declaring constitutional amendments unilaterally.
He's simply
is what he's doing. Which
he's using
his pen and his phone.
But he's using a big Sharpie and scratching out parts of the Constitution and adding his own. It's so bizarrely, radically, first of all, inappropriate, certainly not legal, and astounding that the left's media is having a hard time. They're trying to do their best to like cover it as if it's something. Now, if Trump had done that, it would be Trump lies and says he passed the ERA.
I told you this a bunch of times this weekend because I honestly thought I was past being shocked by the absurdity of the Biden administration. Between like him doing his unconstitutional eviction moratorium and his student loan shit and like all his things that he's done that have been illegal and outrageous and ridiculous from start to finish, right? Like his whole administration has been a disgusting joke. I thought that I was done being horrified by him, but this equal rights amendment stuff just like put me off. And I was freaking out this weekend, and Tom can attest to this because I like normally don't lose my cool, but this made me so mad. It made me so unreasonably mad. And nothing he does, like, it doesn't matter. It's not affecting anything. Nobody cares. First of all, there's no like rights that women don't have.
Of course.
I mean, the whole thing is stupid anyway because women don't not have equal rights. Like the whole thing like is effing dumb. The Equal Rights Amendment sucked from start to finish because women don't lack any rights that men have. Like, that's just not a thing. The Equal Rights Amendment is stupid. It was stupid when it was made in the 70s. It was stupid when the deadline to pass it passed in the 80s. And it's stupid now. It's stupid from start to finish. But that's not even what matters because Ruth Bader Ginsburg agreed that this thing hadn't been passed. There was a deadline in the bill. 7 years after they passed it, they passed another deadline that was an extra 3 years that put it up to 1982. The thing didn't freaking pass by the deadline. It didn't pass by the deadline. They put a deadline in it. It didn't pass. That's the end of the story. The thing goes away. Ruth Bader Ginsburg agreed. The Supreme Court agreed. The Archivist of the United States, who's the official source of what's in the Constitution, what's not, agreed. They agreed as recently as last freaking month. The Archivist of the United States under President Joe Biden said that the Equal Rights, who's a woman, by the way, agreed that the Equal Rights Amendment had not been ratified.
Hey, apparently,
Everyone
Alice. Apparently, hold on.
agrees. I don't know what else to tell
Apparently,
people.
you haven't listened
to. The Equal Rights Amendment has not been ratified.
No.
And if you take the weirdo position, which is that like deadlines don't count or something, then like I don't know what you do with the fact that a bunch of states who said that they ratified it have in the time since the deadline say that they have now unratified it. So like does that count or not? Because it's now been freaking over 40 years since the deadline for this stupid ass constitutional amendment went away. This is done. It's over. I'm sorry that 40 years ago your fucking amendment didn't pass. I'm sorry, but this makes me mad. But like, you don't just get then Biden goes out here and is like, you know what? I declare that this is law. Fuck you. What a piece of shit. I fucking hate
I don't
him.
have enough bleeps.
I'm sorry. Use your bleeps. I'm sorry, but it just makes me mad. This is so stupid. And I have people texting me about this being like, what is your thoughts on this? Is this legal? What does this mean? What happens? And I'm like, Biden is just making shit up. He's just saying shit. None of this means anything at this point. Like, it makes me so angry that on the third to last day of his presidency, he's pretending that he can unilaterally pass the Equal Rights Amendment. Like, the executive branch of the U.S. government is not even involved in passing constitutional amendments. He has zero role to play in the Equal Rights Amendment, which didn't pass 40 plus years ago. I hate everyone involved in giving this any legitimacy whatsoever. And like, I thought I was done being made angry by the Biden administration, but he freaking found a way at the 11th hour to send me over the edge, and I'm mad about it now. I don't know how else to tell people, but this is so ridiculous and obscene and craven and insane. Like, if Trump, by the way, I know this line of reasoning is tired and sad and whataboutism and whatever, but if Trump on the third to last day of his presidency started declaring random things as ratified constitutional amendments that were not ratified constitutional amendments, that the archivist of the United States has specifically gone out of their way to put out statements saying that they absolutely were not ratified constitutional amendments, and Donald Trump overrode them and was like, no, I think it's a constitutional amendment. This is the law of the land. Do you think that the media would be taking it in stride, or do you think there would be a full-scale freak out about the constitutional crisis?
So, two things. One,
I'm sorry.
When all of this screaming banshee activity by you is directed at somebody else, it's quite nice to watch. I'm actually into it.
Sorry.
Two, is there a chance, hopefully, that this is the version of Alice everybody gets tomorrow?
It's a possibility. Anything's possible.
What's the ERA?
Just 3 days before President Biden leaves office, he made a surprise announcement about a proposed constitutional amendment that has been debated for decades.
Today, I affirm the Equal Rights Amendment to have cleared all the necessary hurdles to be added to the U.S. Constitution now.
The Equal Rights Amendment that says, quote, equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. But the official who certifies constitutional amendments, the Archivist of the United States, does not think the proposal has been properly ratified. NPR White House correspondent Danielle Kurtzleben joins us. Danielle, thanks so much for being with us.
Of course. Good morning, Scott.
What exactly did the president announce?
Well, he announced basically what we just heard there. He said that in his mind...
Yeah, I think he did announce basically what you just heard there.
He announced what he announced.
So they're covering
Thank
this.
you, White House correspondent.
Covering this. NPR is covering this without covering it because they can't.
Because it's too embarrassing.
Well, right. And actually, it should only be somebody in the editorial department who talks about this. Because there are no words that NPR is capable of using that could accurately describe this insanity. This weird autonomous constitution hijacking attempt in the La Land. Friggin' put a net around this guy for frig's sake. Does nobody get it? It's amazing. But anyway, they spend 3 minutes on this. They can tell us the whole time. Oh, well, no, it is a little unusual, sure. But oh man, imagine NPR. Like, imagine they did this. By the way, if Trump gets rid of public funding for NPR, then it's right there, the greatest president of all time. I don't even care. All right, Alice, we should we want to do the chat, and then
We gotta go to the Patreon
Okay.
show in which I have rants to go about Meghan Markle.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the chat, but also we want to get the party stuff down again. Once again, a couple people reached out and they said because people are behind. They're behind like 2 weeks in some cases, so I don't even know about the party. So tomorrow is the inauguration party. If you are a loyal listener, which if you're listening right now, you are, you can still just send us an email to burnbarrelpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. We'll fit you in.
Yeah, we are going to be at the Crystal Community Center. Is that correct?
Crystal Community Club. Yep.
Crystal
77 Preston Street, Wakefield.
From 10 to 3 tomorrow.
10 to 3.
Yep, it is a potluck thing, so please just bring some food stuff. It doesn't matter. Bring 8 cheeseburgers, so whatever. It is a cash bar, so bring cash.
Like literally cash.
Literally cash. So if you want a Tito's Bloody
Like
Mary,
not cash bar like you can use a card, but cash bar like literally cash.
Right, not cash bar as in not open bar. Yes, it is not open bar. It's not only
That's true, but also
it gets worse. It's actually you need to have a cash. No, it'll be a great bar. Just bring cash with you. We'll even
there may be snow.
There may be snow. Yeah, there probably will be snow. And from 10 to 3. And that's it. Don't bring
Splash is stuck on Nantucket.
Oh, no.
No boats with the snow.
Don't bring any drinks because
yeah,
it's
no
a bar.
outside
It's all,
beverages.
even if you have kids.
Coffee and
just
tea.
Get it
I
from
was thinking about should I bring our coffee maker? I'm really good at making coffee.
No. People will get their own coffees. I think they know.
Okay, just checking.
But we're gonna have a blast. There will be a PA. Not
We
a PA.
are gonna have a blast. I've made a decision.
Yes.
We're having karaoke, but only for artists who are playing at Trump's inauguration. So if you have any karaoke songs, Lee Greenwood, Billy Ray Cyrus, Kid Rock, Carrie Underwood, Before He Cheats is one of my famous
I've seen Alice do
karaoke
this.
numbers.
Oh, this is.
Oh man, Carrie Underwood doing this is like my
I would
whole...
suggest that you do that towards the end of the event, Alice. so you can get into it. Alice Shattuck will get into it, but probably more.
Before He Cheats is a great song. Carrie Underwood is playing at the inauguration. The Village People, you can do YMCA karaoke. Everyone's gonna. Only artists playing at the inauguration. Nelly wasn't me.
But we may also do. Wasn't me as Nelly?
Isn't it? Or
no, that was
that?
That was the Wasn't me. That's the No.
Shaggy.
Yeah, Shaggy's wasn't.
Oh, sorry.
Wasn't
Nelly and Shaggy sound the same to me. Okay.
But
what does Nelly sing?
I don't know, but we may do some other stuff.
Well, if you want to sing Nelly karaoke,
depending on what
there you
happens,
go.
we could do some trivia. There's certainly going to be raffles, and I think the guy Kevin who runs the place has. If you want to bid on Trump merchandise, he's got some Trump signed stuff there as well. There's also we're going to have a lot of fun. So don't go
Steve
for.
from Merrimack is going to do Snoop karaoke. So.
Oh, nice. Good. Bow wow, yow, yippee-oh, yeah. Snoop Dogg is in the what house? What house is Snoop Dogg in?
I'm guessing the doghouse.
The mother dog house.
Effing doghouse.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you
so there you go. By the way, you can do any song you want to. Don't listen to
Hot
Joseph.
and hot. Okay. Thank you, Splash. That's what Nelly sings.
It's getting hot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Splash, you're on for that one on karaoke.
You stuck in the island, or she? Is Splash a he or a she?
A he.
Okay. Albie, you ready?
I'm ready.
We may even, depending on what happens, I've downloaded a bunch of chat messages. It's very interesting to see the evolution over the last really 3 years.
Tom's been doing it best of chat over the last however many years, which we only started it for our 500th episode. Do you remember that?
Well, right. And people are saying, happy anniversary in the first ones. There's no Steve from Merrimack. And no Steve from
come
Gloucester.
until later.
Yeah. And he's not, his tagline is not like developed yet in the 500 ones. Very interesting. It's okay. So are you ready? You ready?
I just heard a kid say, Mom told you not to do something that way, which I don't know what God said, but.
Okay. Replica Shattuck.
What is going on with this meetup I'm hearing about for the first time? I didn't get it to RSVP because I didn't get an invitation. I'm catching up on old shows yet again because I've had a very busy month.
I understand.
So I was going to come running into it like Dally into the Rumble.
I'll give you $500 if you know Dally running into the Rumble. What that's from.
No. It's not Dolly, the artist.
No, it's
right?
Dallas.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Who did Rumplefish?
I don't know.
It's the It's Steve, you know it. It's Matt Dillon running through the Rumble. Tom Cruise is in the movie. Everybody is in the movie. Patrick Swayze is in the movie.
What?
C. Thomas Howell's in the movie. Ralph Macchio's in the movie. It's The Outsiders.
Okay.
You don't know The Outsiders? That's a huge movie. I gotta show my son that movie. That's a huge. No one starts a Rumble without doubt.
Janet says The Outsiders in the chat. Yeah.
Right, here we go.
But then I found out it's 12 to 3.
10 to 3.
And that seems like kind of a tame affair.
Well.
So in the future, I will probably respond to something that starts at 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. where I know things are going to get really fun. Good day.
Well, Replica Shattuck, first of all...
You're obviously invited.
Yes, and I did send him or her the invite today as well. But, you know, we assume that the people... It's threading a needle, because we don't want to be the official mass GOP Trump event, because the room isn't big enough, or maybe it is. But we also want to make sure all the Burn Barrel listeners are taken care of, and then some other people who are affiliates or friends and whatever, et cetera. So we tried to. Well, the assumption was that if we said it in the show, that people would know, or if we, you know, and so now you do know. But it will be. I think that there will be some people there who will absolutely be using that bring cash bar aggressively. Some people won't.
I think the Crystal Community Club is going to do well at the bar. Would be my thought.
Yes, I would say so. Just don't
We
drive.
have 100 like RSVPs right now.
There we go.
All right, Tom, I got to stop you right there.
Good.
The reason Monica and Rachel, anyways, could have that fabulous apartment for cheap money in New York is because we're going back to the Friends thing, just in case anybody missed it.
Yep.
Because that was Monica's grandmother's apartment.
Rent control?
Under rent control.
There you
wow.
go.
Oh, Andy in Cambridge, 5 minutes east of the Phoenix Landing. 37.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a storyline behind that.
There is a thing with New York rent control that they're heritable.
How did Joey and Chandler get theirs? At one point, didn't they switch too? By the way, you would have found me at the Phoenix Landing, sure as hell, in the peak of that show.
Well, Andy tried to make a case for us to do the event at the Phoenix Landing.
Would have been parking challenges, and plus, believe me, I love the Phoenix Landing, but we were trying to
bring in outside food
and also keep people away from the crunch of traffic situations. And in Central Square is a crunch. It's like you'd want to minimize the pain. But yeah, that's good to know about the Friends thing. Oh, Andy is coming. Is he coming?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Here we go.
Hey guys, how you doing? Can you once again provide the time and location for Monday's event? I believe that you said it starts in the morning, and that might truthfully be my only window to make an appearance to fulfill my obligation of being there. Tom, I know you have me as a 100% lock of going.
Yes.
I'm more towards like 60%.
No.
Because I have family obligations that I need to attend to in the afternoon. So I'll try to be there. But if you can give the time and the details, it would be great. Thanks.
Allison?
10 to 3.
Details?
10 to 3, 77 Preston Street, Crystal Community Club, Bleakfield.
I'm going to send him the invite again. Steve, you got to go. This is a family-friendly event, by the way. If you happen to be with family, this is family-friendly. There's going to be all sorts of kids there as well.
So Trish says Chandler had a real job. I never understood how. Joey made run each month. Janet said, yes, they switched. Splash says he used to watch Dawson's Creek in college to try and get a girl, and it didn't work.
Dawson's Creek. I remember that song.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't want to wait for your love.
Is that what, like, Tom Cruise's girlfriend came from, too? Dawson's Creek? Yeah.
That song was the official, my job back then was to be a concierge. So my job was to get tickets, and if your scalper didn't have tickets, then we'd have to call Ticketmaster. And I Don't Want to Wait was the official hold music for Ticketmaster. I heard that freaking thing 80 million times.
Is that some kind of weird stick-it irony? I don't want to wait.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Hey, the other day on the show, one of the Steves recommended a movie, Den of Thieves. Thank God I didn't have to pay for it because it was trash.
Wow.
I assume it was Steve from Gloucester then that recommended it.
Wow.
Is that Jason?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like it. Wow. That is vicious. A vicious takedown of that device. Yeah. I you know what's funny? Because Steve... No, that was Steve from Merrimack who said it, I think, wasn't it? It particularly seems like kind of a dumb movie for him, doesn't it?
I don't know the movie, so I don't know.
Hold on.
Our babysitter's brought in the baby now.
Yeah. Just like the parking meter, our time has come. Hold on. I'm looking for some music, Alice. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1
Steve from Merrimack says, F this guy. So I think it was Steve from Merrimack that recommended that.
Right. Phil.
I have not seen the movie. I don't know it. So I can't. Steve from Merrimack says brilliant in the chat. I guess I'll have to watch it then. I don't know. You don't like it?
I don't know. I don't think it's
Den of
probably brilliant.
Thieves?
I also am not a guy. I'm not a Pulp Fiction guy either, or a Reservoir Dogs guy.
You don't like anything, basically.
That's not true. I like role models.
You guys, I tried to put on the other day because it came so highly recommended by everybody in the world, and it could be Clint Eastwood's last movie that he makes. I tried to put on Juror Number 2, and did Tom have 1 second of time for Juror Number 2, or did he immediately check out, completely plastered, did not have any interest in the plot?
Well,
I was like, do you know what's happening? He's like, That
was a lost weekend. That was not my fault. That was my friend's fault. Many of whom are texting
that
me.
was this weekend.
That was incorrect.
You were
incorrect. Incorrect.
Steve from Merrimack says you're not a guy who likes any good entertainment. I was really interested in watching Juror Number 2. Maybe someday I'll get to finish it, but not.
Role Models is what I watch. That's what I watch.
Splash says Role Models is a fantastic comedy.
Here we go. It's the best comedy ever.
We named our child after the character
Correct.
in Role Models. we have an Anson. There's an Anson Wheeler in Role Models, who is one of the only Ansons we know. But Steve from Merrimack says you hate Oasis.
Stop
F you.
filling. Stop filling now, Alice. Oasis blows. Steve from Merrimack,
We will see
really?
you on the other side for the Patreon show. Just stay there.